Hey friends! Today's video is your monthly anti-haul. We are nearing the end of September, which means Christmas is upon us when it comes to the makeup retail market. Christmas has arrived.
We can't stay, baby, it's cold outside.
So we're going to talk about some holiday products today. But first, before I get into any of the products, I would like to give a huge shout out to Kimberly Clark, who popularized this series many years ago. Kimberly, you're great. So I will leave a link to Kimberly's channel in the description down below. If you have never seen Kimberly's videos before, check them out, obviously. And if you are new to my channel, welcome. Hello. Hi. Hope you enjoy your time here.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
Anti-hauls are a series of videos popularized by Kimberly where the kind of goal is to use hyperbole, use exaggeration to counteract the like hyperbolic, exaggerated way that the makeup community and makeup YouTube in general tends to be very like,
Oh my god, they need all this thing. You need to buy this. This is amazing. You need it, you need it, you need it, you need it.
you don't need anything. Just right off the bat, you don't need anything. These videos are the direct foil to that. So if you do see anything in this video that you like or that you want, please don't take it personally because it's my opinion, it's my thoughts, stuff that I have gathered from marketing information, from reviews from people already. Just a hodgepodge of facts about the releases and, I don't know, maybe roasting a little bit of the marketing tactics along the way. So let's just get started. There's a lot. We're not going to talk at length about a lot of them because there's so many and I don't really want to like go into too much detail and make this like a 40-minute video, although I know that you guys would like it, but I don't really want to edit it because that's a pain in my ass. So let's just get started with the first thing that I have seen. KVD Vegan Discovery Kindness, Friendship, Live, Laugh, Love, Beauty. Their holiday 2020 eyeshadow palette looks like something straight out of 2010. If you guys saw my last video, you should go check it out. I was looking at some old releases from 2010 that maybe people would buy today, who knows? There is one more weirder holiday release, I will say. There's one more release that we will talk about later in this video that is a weirder holiday release, but this is just... I just want to know who asked for this color story particularly. It seems very like, let's put as many jewel tone and as many shimmery tone shadows in one palette as we can get. Because I think there's like, okay, 6 mattes. Really? Oh, I guess, I don't believe that there's 6 mattes. I only see 5 mattes. I don't see 6 mattes in this palette. They are deceiving me. The one cool thing I will say about this is that they do say that it is a 100% recyclable palette, which is very cool. I think more brands should do that. That is a cool thing that they're doing. It doesn't make me want to buy this. This brand is floundering. I really wish they would have done more things because coming off of like getting rid of the most toxic part of your company and then just like coming back into doing very kind of lackluster releases. They have this, they have another one of those like quads of colors that don't make any sense that have like the longest name possible. They have one that's like the Glam Rock Kitten something or other. Yeah, I don't quite understand what they've been doing with this brand, and honestly I'm rooting for them because I want the company to do well. Like I want them to be able to bounce back and have a reputable brand because the actual formulations of products before were not bad. So it's like they have a good infrastructure in place, but they just, I feel like they made weird decisions right away that I don't know if it's gonna pay off in the end. I'm sorry, I don't need to, not gonna buy it. Morphe, more and more surprised at how little I know about these TikTok stars because it makes me feel incredibly old. Granted, Madison Beer isn't a TikTok star, but she's a star that I know nothing about. I know that like Justin Bieber found her in something, like I don't know. So this palette obviously isn't made for me, but it looks very cheap. It looks very like Claire's makeup and it doesn't look that exciting. Morphe really is like banking on that young influencer market to like really bring in the dough and really bring in the money. And this is no different, and I am not the target audience. Also, I have these shades a million times over, so I don't need it. And wait, she's a singer-songwriter? I literally had no idea.
Huh?
Next, we have this Makeup Revolution and Friends collection that I believe is gonna be... Is it gonna be exclusively in Ulta? No. on also Makeup Revolution. This is one of the ugliest things I have seen in a long time. Like, they took all of the weirdest looking props from the 90s, like opening theme things, and then just like decided to make a palette out of it. First of all, the eyeshadow palette is huge and it's way too big for anything that I would ever need. And then they have like little 9 pans, which like, okay, that's fine. It's so ugly. Like, it's so ugly. But I'm not a huge fan of Friends like I used to be back in the day when I was like a kid and watching it originally when it was on. But like, I don't really connect with it as much anymore. And so like, I have really no reason to buy any of this besides the fact that it's ugly as sin. I don't know. It just feels like a weird cash grab for nostalgic sake. I'm a nostalgic person. Y'all know I love nostalgia. It's not that expensive. It's like a $12 9 pan and like an $8 lipstick. So it's not terrible, but like, I don't, it's just ugly. It's ugly and I don't need it. I'm not going to buy it. Sorry, Makeup Revolution. When did this come out? The beginning of the month? I've lost track of so many releases. House Labs has a new lip glosses out. Wow, cool, exciting. Literally not exciting in the slightest. House Labs, again, I wanted you to succeed. I wanted you to do well, but then you partnered with a company that is really not known for like quality products. So like, was I surprised that these weren't that exciting and that great? No, absolutely not.
Sorry, House Labs. Don't need it, not gonna buy it.
This palette from Natasha Denona, I feel like I've talked about literally every Natasha Denona palette in an anti-haul because they're never at a price point that I feel okay with buying. This palette particularly annoys me, one, because I just have all of these shades in the Sultry palette, like the ABH palette from a few years back. Sultry, I have this. So if you have that or anything like it, you have these shades. But the thing that really confuses me about this palette is the way that the shades are named. They're named like center eyelid, outer eyelid, inner corner, crease, transition, smoke, blend, lash line, outer eyelid, center. Like, all of these are labeled in like where you're supposed to put it. It's like, what are you, a Wet n Wild trio, Natasha? You don't need to tell me where I need to put this dark brown eyeshadow. If I want to put it all over my lid, I will put it all over my lid. You can't tell me anything. You can't tell me what to do. In the words of Rob Beauty Christie.
You're not my real dad.
It just seems the way that they did name it also was very like specific to a certain skin tone, because the things that they labeled as like crease and transition shades would not be a crease or a transition shade for people with dark skin, because the transition shade is like a light grayish. Like, that's not a transition shade on everybody, you know? So the way they named it really confused me, and there's not enough mattes. There's so many things that I don't like about this palette. A, I already have all the shades. 2, not enough mattes. 3, the names are suspect. Not a fan. Don't need it. Not gonna buy it. Sorry. Not sorry. Nope. Okay. Pat McGrath has come up with some confusing things lately. I will say the holiday collection that they just announced and they just like showed all the images, I'm tempted. Like, I'm tempted. It's very beautiful. Like, that is a holiday collection that I can get behind. But this is not it. I know it's probably sold out because people buy ridiculous things, but it's a limited edition lip kit with
crystals.
So you buy a $75 lip kit that includes a mini matte lipstick, not even the full-size lipstick, a mini lipstick, glue, like regular ass lash glue, an applicator, and then crystals, like little like gemstones to put on your lips for some reason, for like a Instagram post. This is truly just made for like editorial posts or like editorial runway type things. This is literally not something that a practical person that's just buying makeup to wear it, like, unless you like have like a very artistry focused account or very artistry focused makeup online presence, this doesn't make sense for a lot of people, myself included, because this just sounds like it would be uncomfortable, like just sitting there and just like, could you imagine rubbing your lips together and they're just being like crystals glued all over it?
Ugh.
Also, if you wanted to do something like this, just go to the craft store and get some like ones with stickers on it. Stick them to your lips or glue them to your lips. Like, you don't need fancy crystals that cost you
$75
for a mini lipstick, some glue, and then crystals. Like, most of the money you're spending is going towards those crystals because, you know, a mini lipstick is not worth that much. Don't need it, not gonna buy it. Okay. Next. set of palettes from BH Cosmetics, and I'm annoyed with this one particularly because I love Halloween and I wanted there to be Halloween releases. I wanted brands to have Halloween collections. I wanted it. And then BH Cosmetics comes in clutch and they're like, we're gonna have a Halloween collection. Cool. Except for the fact that the theme, the whole collection is Drop Dead Gorgeous, which I could take as being like themed around horror movies, like teen horror films, which like I'm totally into that idea. But the fact that they named the palettes Little Bit Psycho and Full On Crazy is not great. I hadn't seen these, and then somebody commented about it in my video that I posted on Tuesday about how they were really excited about this palette and this collection, but then like all the ableist names were like really turning them off. And I looked it up and I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's bad. Like, why? Like, what's the point of that? Like, there's so many things in the horror genre that you could use, and then they went with this, which is like, hey, let's not stigmatize mental illness even more and making it like a trope for all of villains in a horror film.
Like, what?
I wasn't a huge fan of that personally, and I'm not gonna buy it. I don't need it. Next is Makeup by Mario's full beauty brand. I don't know much about Mario. I know that he was Kim Kardashian's makeup artist, and that's pretty much it. That's all I know about him. But a lot of people were like hyping up the idea of him coming out with a full makeup line because he's done collections with Kim. It only made sense for him to be like a world-renowned makeup artist to come out with his own makeup line, like obviously. But I saw these palettes and the products themselves. It's not obscenely expensive, I will say. Like, things are on like the mid-range price-wise, but something about the packaging gives me like free gift when you buy like $50 of Clinique skincare vibes. Like, it looks really cheap. Like, it looks cheap. Something about all white packaging that's like that. That's a very matte, kind of like simple packaging. It just reads cheap to me. It's gonna get messy. Like, I'm not a fan of like all white packaging when it comes to eyeshadows. It doesn't look that special. There's a neutrals palette that is, what is that, matte and shimmer? I think the neutrals palette has both mattes and shimmers, but then there's one that's like a jewel tone one that's all shimmeries. And this one particularly is giving me like Clinique free gift vibes because so many of those would just have like shimmery eyeshadows in them and you couldn't make an entire look out of it. So I don't know. These aren't speaking to me. They're not calling my name. I'm not oogling at them the same way I am about other releases that have come out recently. Like that Pat McGrath holiday collection. Holy shit, it looks so pretty. Now let's just dig on into some holiday sets and holiday collections. Sephora has their annual like little kits of things that are under $70. They'll have like under $50, under $100, so on and so forth, so that you can get like whatever price range of random gifts that you don't actually want to think about to give other people. That's what these are for. They're not necessarily for buying them for yourself. Like, they're for giving them as gifts. That's why they call them gift sets. But they've got mascara sets, skincare kits. Oh, there's like a candle set. That looks kind of fun. But really, with these holiday kits and these holiday sets, I've said this every year since I started doing these, and I feel like Kimberly does a really good job on her channel as well. Holiday sets are notoriously lower quality than year-round products because they make it once and that's all they have to sell, and they don't have to worry about it being good for them to restock it. So they don't put in nearly as much time and as much money into making them really, really good. So if you're wanting to like save up for like one palette or one release a year, like, don't get the holiday ones because it's not going to be as good as the other ones. Like, Too Faced is extra known for that. Too Faced, Tarte, they put out these like holiday sets that are kind of like confusing and you wonder who wants them and who buys them. I mean, sometimes you can get really good value out of it, the same way you would get out of like any like year-round kind of like set of minis or set of things. So make sure that you're looking at what is in a holiday set. If there's like a few things that you're really liking, and there's like maybe one product that you might not be into as much, but you could see yourself playing around with, maybe go for it. But if you're looking at a set and you're like, oh, I really want that one lipstick, here's a small version of it, and then I I get 3 other products that I may or may not even like. Just buy the one product that you wanted. Like, you don't need to get the entire kit, because then you're going to have a random samples lying around that you're not going to use, and it'll be just like Birchbox all over again for me in 2012, and that was just a lot of perfume samples laying around, and nobody wants a million perfume samples laying around because I have too many perfumes as it is. Yeah, holiday sets. Laura Mercier's got one. Hourglass has stuff. I'm surprised fucking NARS didn't come out with another orgasm one, because they can't stop, won't stop.
Orgasming.
Too Faced does have some small palettes. They've got mini eyeshadow palettes. They've got Kitty Likes to Scratch. That sounds like not a fun time for an eyeshadow palette. And then mini gingerbread and mini salted caramel eyeshadow palette. That's some flashbacks. Salted caramel mocha eyeshadow looks. Hey, Rachel. And if you look at all of these images, okay, let me put them up all on the screen. I feel like with these minis, it was like, it's so similar, or like, if not a dupe to a lot of the shades that you have in like the peach palettes and then the gingerbread palette. Like, you have all these things that have been done over and over again, that this has literally no originality, no specialness to it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I'm not gonna buy it. Too Faced just wants to slap the same names on things continuously so that people will buy it, and they're like, oh, this is just like the other gingerbread palettes. But I've seen it before where they had the like mini white chocolate thing palette, and it was garbage. Like, Hannah bought the mini white chocolate palette for some reason. Not sure why.
Okay, first of all, this is just ash.
But it was trash. So I don't expect this to be any different. Sorry, Too Faced. Don't need it. Not gonna buy it. So 2 8-pan palettes came out for holiday that I am surprised that they look so similar, because one of them is from Lime Crime and one of them is from ABH. The Lime Crime palette is the Greatest Hits Classic Shadow palette, which, I mean, like, is pretty, but again, if you have the larger palettes, if you have palettes that are similar to them, you have these shades already. I don't know what Lime Crime's like reputation with holiday products is, so I'm not quite sure if their holiday products are as notoriously bad as like Too Faced ones, but I scrolled by this and I'm like, wait, isn't this, it's just if like somebody depotted some shades from the other ones and then put it in a small pan, like a small palette. Like, what you doing, Lime Crime? What are you doing? What are you doing? And then the next palette that came out, which looks eerily similar but somehow less exciting, is Anastasia's holiday collection, which is the bite-sized glam, the Soft Glam 2. It's just a mini version of the Soft Glam palette. For $29, you get 8 pans. And then there's some lip glosses, a mascara, and I think that's it. Literally a mascara in a mini ornament, lip gloss sets, and a tiny Soft Glam palette. This is so weird. I definitely can see the appeal in having a smaller version of a palette that you have that you want to use for travel. First of all, nobody's traveling right now, or they shouldn't be. And second of all, this palette came out so many years ago that I feel like this is just like a weirdly timed release. And after Norvina had said that, oh, Anastasia was going to be like making changes in the company and like doing a lot of work like internally and like increasing inclusivity and like kind of dealing with that stuff at the workplace. And then they came out with some like lipsticks a little while back, and then they've been weirdly quiet. They've been weirdly quiet with all of this. And this launch is just also very quiet. It's very boring. It's so boring. I was scrolling by and I'm like, what is this? What are you? Why? Excuse you. No, ma'am.
Why am I persecuted?
So boring. And like the glosses are just like nude glosses. You don't need 4 separate nude glosses to buy at one time. Ugh. ABH, really. I mean, like, I wasn't expecting a whole lot from them the rest of this year, to be frank, but maybe more than this for holiday. Like, I would have thought they would have come out swinging, but no, this is just phoning it in. Like, I know that people are buying this and people want to buy it because it's called the Soft Glam 2, because people love the Soft Glam palette. So people are thinking, oh, it's going to be like the smaller version of that with not as many shades. It's cheaper, it's more portable. So people are going to buy it because of that. But I feel like if they named it anything else, if they named it anything separate from what they've already called a bunch of things, it wouldn't really sell very well. But the fact that it's called the Soft Glam 2, that's what's gonna sell it. And the other thing is, if you either have people who have the soft glam palette, so they don't need these shades again, or you have the people who don't have the soft glam palette, and like this might be a gateway into things, but I feel like this isn't like super enticing for new customers. Like this is just banking on people who already like the brand and who already have an established like loyalty to the brand, but they already have these. So I don't necessarily feel like this makes a lot of sense, especially because the 14 pan, like the regular size ABH palettes, are not really large. So the fact that they made this even smaller is like, did they need to downsize the other one that much anyway? I don't think so. I don't know. I just don't feel like this was warranted or necessary. So I don't need it and I'm not gonna buy it. Editing me here, there was one thing that I wanted to add into this video that I didn't get a chance to talk about initially when I was recording it, and that is the new Colourpop Sandstone palette. Yikes. Colourpop decided to put out a palette that was featuring cultural appropriation in the year of our Lord 2020, which is a weird choice. Okay, Colourpop. I don't know why you chose to do that. That was a bad idea. The palette itself is pretty boring. Like, it's a neutral palette with some, like, a couple of pops of a light green, and it's something that Colourpop would come out with any other freaking week. But the issue that people have with it is the imagery on the outside that's native indigenous imagery, and then the inside, all the names are kind of borrowing from that culture, which I don't know why people are still doing that. I don't know why brands are still doing that. Let's stop doing that. People have been talking about how shitty it is to wear headdresses on Halloween for years, and it's different than that, but it's still bad. Like, because I feel like it's a little bit more inconspicuous because you're not walking around with a headdress on your head. You're printing a palette that is like stealing indigenous imagery, and it's just frustrating because Colourpop could have done something with maybe like a native creator, like a native influencer, an influencer that is very proud of their indigenous heritage. They could have done something with a person that actually had like reverence for the culture and actually like honored it in a way, but they didn't do that. They didn't do that at all. Their response to the criticism was very half-assed, very lukewarm. People were just like, hey, this isn't cool, this is cultural appropriation, and they were like, oh, we're sorry, we'll change it on the next round of things, change the names and the packaging. And it's like, guys, you could, I don't know, take portions of the sales and donate it to organizations that help indigenous cultures. Like, you could actually do something with some of the money you have lying around, but they didn't do that. Brands should know better by now. They should know better not to do this. With how many times people have been roasted on the internet for wearing headdresses on Halloween or to Coachella or whatever, like, they should know better by now. And the color story isn't even that special. They could have done something with a similar color story and maybe had it themed around, like, I don't know, actual geology. Like, if they wanted to make, like, mountains and the land and, like, the trees and nature as a theme, they could have done that with the exact same color story, but they just had to include cultural appropriation for aesthetic reasons. Thanks, Colourpop, for just not doing the right thing. Once again. Not a fan. So yeah, Colourpop, I'm not sorry because you don't give a shit about me, but I don't need it and I'm not going to buy it. I have a new microphone. It is the Elgato Wave 3. Look at this. I'm like a proper NPR podcaster. Okay, just talk into it and hear myself back. Anyway, back to the video. I guess this wasn't all that many products. I thought there was going to be more. Maybe just so many of it blends together because it's all just very
bland.
There's been a lot of bland releases, a lot of things that look very similar to each other. I think Kylie came out with some shit, some lipsticks. I don't fucking know. Just like, I don't know, buy what you want to buy, but don't buy something because the internet is telling you to buy it. And especially to other creators out there. I've seen some people feel pressured by their audience to buy things to review them. Don't ever feel pressured like you need to purchase something to review it, especially if YouTube is not your full-time job. If YouTube is not your full-time job, it is your prerogative to buy whatever the fuck you want and to review whatever the hell you want. Like, no one should be demanding that you buy products to review for them. Like, if they really want it that bad, they can just go buy it themselves. So please, I know I've seen some smaller YouTubers who have felt pressured by their audience, and it makes me kind of sad. So buy what you want to buy, but don't feel like the internet needs to tell you what you need to buy. And don't feel like I need to tell you what you can't buy or what you shouldn't buy, because that's not what this is at all. It's just like a reverse pep talk. Like a pep talk. I don't want to say reverse pep talk because that sounds like I'm scolding people, but it's a pep talk to do the reverse of what the internet seems to want us to do all the time, which is to buy a lot of products because, say it with me, capitalism and consumerism. So, you know. So I guess that is everything that I wanted to talk about today. If you have seen any releases, things that you've been anti-hauling, let me know in the comments down below. I want to make a discussion, just like have people chat about things and maybe tell people reasons why they might not need something if they really need somebody to tell them that they don't need it. But I've had people sometimes ask me, they're like, oh my god, you need to make an anti-haul about this. You need to tell me not to buy this. It's like, I feel like I shouldn't have to continuously tell people not to buy things. I'm gonna do it because I like making the videos and there's new products and new people all the time. But sometimes I feel like people are like counting on me to be like,
Hey,
don't buy this thing. You don't need me to tell you not to buy something. Like, you can make up your own mind and make your own choices. I'm just here to help. Today's song of the day is one that I am very excited about. It is Phoebe Bridgers' not new song. This song came out at like the end of June. I feel very stupid for not hearing it until recently. The song I Know the End is literal perfection. The music video is wild and I love it. I love Phoebe. I have known of Phoebe's music for several years now and I am a very big fan. I love her. She is fantastic and also hilarious. Like, her Twitter page is always like wonderful, but this song particularly is a perfect representation of 2020, of just like the way that the song kind of moves. Perfectly exemplifies emotions this year, where the beginning was just kind of somber and then it got really like monotonous and then it just got angrier and angrier and then everybody just started screaming at the end. So yeah. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That would be fantastic. Again, please don't be offended if you liked any of these products, if you want to buy any of them. It's just my opinion. It's a product. It's a brand, it's a product. It's not a person. Don't take it personally. Please. If you are new to my channel and would like to see more of my content, please subscribe. I upload videos twice a week, as well as streaming on Twitch when I can, and I also have an Instagram and a Twitter page, which you should go follow as well if you would like to keep up with me on my day-to-day stuff. I tweet a lot lately. Thanks so much to my patrons. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all are great. Check out the links in my description. I have a link to register to vote if you are in the United States, as well as links to bail funds, general information, what is happening in Louisville and just around the country having to deal with the Black Lives Matter protests, because there's a lot happening still all the time, never stopped happening. But I do hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you all in my next one. Bye.